Hello and welcome to another episode of Clean Talk, the Infection Control Podcast. It's Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and that means we're coming to you live from the Seal Shield Studios in beautiful downtown Orlando, Florida. Very excited for our guest today. He's an expert in the antimicrobial field. Michael Ruby, president of Microban International, leading innovators in antimicrobial technology. Excited to have you on the show. Michael, welcome to Clean Talk.
Excited to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I know we're going to have a lot of exciting things to talk about with all the great innovations that Microban is involved in the antimicrobial space. Let's just go ahead and dive right into it, Michael. Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're on Clean Talk today.
Well, I'd be happy to. So I've been at Microban International for almost 4 years now. And as president, I oversee all of our operations in every jurisdiction around the world. You know, we're really excited about the things that we've worked on over the course of the past 38 years. We were founded in 1984 by two biomedical engineers who really wanted to solve a real problem. And that was the itchiness and the odor related to a medical cast. I mean, ever since then, we've just spent a lot of time solving real world problems on products and surfaces. And we now find ourselves being the global leader in branded antimicrobial, odor control, and continuously active surface disinfection and sanitization technologies. We are a proud, privately owned, in fact, employee-owned company. So on behalf of all of Microban's associates all around the world, we're very pleased to be represented on the Seal Shield Cleancast.
Well, I really appreciate that, Michael. And I've got to ask you, since you mentioned the employee-owned company structure at Seal Shield, we're also employee-owned. All of our employees have an equity stake in the company and participate in profit sharing. Why is that important to Microban, and what kind of results have you seen as an employee-owned organization?
So at Microban, it is a really, really important driver of, first, creating great value for our associates. Second, creating an associate base that has staying power, because there's an earn-in cycle for participation and full vesting within the ESOP. So it makes sure that people that are fully vested and contributing to the organization have done so over a long period of time, and it's a sustainable contribution to the business. Third, it really does help us align our strategies, because we can start every meeting, whether it's around a capital investment we're going to make, a partnership that we're going to foment, an investment into marketing that we're going to make, or an expansion into a new geography, or even a new hire. And we start that question with regards to what's the value to the organization. And if we don't have alignment on that, we stop the conversation. So it really doesn't let us spend time on noisy things. And it really keeps us all focused on growing the organization, growing our partnerships with Fortune 250 companies all over the world, and helping our partners redefine clean in meaningful ways.
Well, we certainly share those cultural values, employee empowerment and ownership thinking for excellence. And of course, we're here coming to you live from Orlando, Florida, but you're up in North Carolina. That's the company headquarters, but you have a global organization. Can you tell us a little bit about the worldwide logistics?
You know, I'll tell you, especially at a time like now where things have gotten difficult related to tariffs, to transport, to supply chains, logistics, we're very proud of and leverage our global network. Although our global headquarters is indeed just north of Charlotte, North Carolina, we've got facilities all over the world. We've got international locations that support sales, marketing, and operations, have ready stocks and samples. We've got customer service agents in each of the major international regions of the world. We've got a regulatory desk and a legal team that help our partners all over the world, multilingual capabilities in terms of digital engagement and the like. And then we've got technical and laboratory teams, both in Huntersville, North Carolina, and in Toronto, Canada, both of which are probably one of the most advanced microbiological and analytical laboratories in the world. Our facilities in the international geographies, in addition to Toronto, as I mentioned, are also in Leicester, the United Kingdom, Taipei, Taiwan, and we've got 3 locations in China, Shanghai, Shenzhen, and Hong Kong as well. So our global footprint really allows us to make sure that we think globally but act locally in support of our partners all around the world.
Well, truly a global organization solving global problems. And that's what we want to talk about. We're a healthcare technology podcast. Our listeners want to hear about the technology. Tell us about Microban technology and why it's important.
We play really in three thematic areas. And I think this is important for people to understand, especially as we're starting, at least in the West, to emerge from a global pandemic that's been multi-years in length. People have been redefined in terms of their view of microbes and bacteria and viruses, for sure, in the last couple of years. We've got a whole suite of technologies that help to redefine clean in meaningful ways on products that people will use in their homes, in their places of work, in their hospitals or healthcare systems, and in large public spaces. So the categories of our technologies are all over the map, but in the thematic areas, it's really around odor control and odor management for textiles, products, and footwear. So we try to prevent permastink in the golf shirts, in the suits, and in the footwear that people would wear for athleisure and the like. In home textiles, toweling, sheeting applications, in medical textiles, scrubs, and all that, and in military textiles, and even in professional textiles like uniforms. So we've got a broad suite of technologies, which are odor control management agents, which help elongate the life of textiles, minimize the need for laundering, control permastink, and therefore create a longer service life. And in laundering, allow for less damaging laundering, which would typically release microplastics or microfibers into the waste streams and consume a whole lot of natural resources. So there's a sustainable and green element to our odor control technologies in the textile arena, which we're very proud of. The second category of our technologies is called built-in antimicrobials. And we're very proud of the fact that we can treat any substrate, any surface. And it literally is that. We can treat any polymer, any fabric, any wood substrate. We've got coatings that allow for the retroactive treatment of specific final made OEM goods. And so, once we incorporate that at the point of manufacture or do a bespoke after built treatment or coating, the technologies that we apply are good for the life of the product in permanently managing bacterium and fungus and mold growth agents at a much, much lower level than otherwise would be the case, and therefore helping to redefine clean and protect products of all types and substrates. And the third, and probably of the most direct interest to the audience today, is our first in the world products in continuously active disinfection and sanitizing solutions for home, professional, and healthcare sectors. We've partnered with Procter & Gamble to bring to market the Microban 24 line of products. There's multiple ranges within those SKU ranges for bath care, multi-purpose cleaning, and a sanitizing aerosol that people can use in their homes. And it's the first product ever certified by EPA for residual sanitization for use in home care surfaces, which means that once a surface is properly cleaned and utilized with Microban 24, it's good for 24 hours, even after multiple touches. Even if you clean with peroxides or bleach or Lysol or something else, immediately upon re-engaging that surface, or if something is airborne and re-engages that surface, you get a blossoming of bacteria growth on that. And it can be tens of millions of population growth in a 24-hour period. So Microban 24 helps keep those surfaces clean for up to 24 hours, even after multiple touches. That's for use in the home environment. That's also available through Microban's partnership with P&G Professional in the professional environments for office spaces, restaurants, quick service restaurants, and the like. We also have partnered, we're very proud of our partnership with Professional Disposables International, PDI. PDI are a huge player in the North America cleaning space for disinfectants in the hospital sector. And we've worked with them over the course of time to get the first in-class products, both in a spray RTU and in a residual wipe, which looks like this right here if it comes through on the screen. The Sandy 24 continuously active disinfection technologies that are powered by Microban are the very first products certified by EPA for use in the acute and primary care space that provide continuously active disinfection for up to 24 hours, even after multiple touches. These have been rigorously put through laboratory testing, certification, validation by EPA, and actually have a number of clinical studies that have been completed at places like Duke University, the Medical University of South Carolina, Harvard University, and the like that are published and publicly available, that show a meaningful reduction in hospital-acquired infections when used as part of a system of care within the acute care wings of hospitals and healthcare environments. So it's really, we're very proud of the fact that, especially in the healthcare environment and in the mission on infection prevention control, that we can deploy our textiles treatments, we can deploy our built-in technologies for things like privacy curtains and mobility devices that are used in hospital care, crash carts that go from room to room, et cetera, floor cleaning agents, antimicrobially treated paints and flooring elements, as well as our continuously active disinfectants, so that we bring all these tools to bear in the ever-present fight against managing, controlling, and minimizing hospital-acquired infections.
Well, that's fantastic. There's so much there, Michael. I'm just full of questions. I definitely want to get into the EPA validation process and the value of that for the healthcare environment with the continuous clean. You guys have come a long way from the scratchy casts, but let's get into the technology a little bit before we go there. A lot of people are familiar with the term antimicrobial. There are a lot of antimicrobial agents out there. Is there one silver bullet, no pun intended, or do you use a combination of technologies within these different product classes? And what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked, because there's a whole lot of different families of antimicrobial agents, antifungal agents, anti-mold agents. The beauty of our organization is, because we're a brand first organization, we try to power up bespoke solutions to solve those real problems.
Very exciting technology in the antimicrobial space. Most people are familiar with the Microban brand. It's probably the most well-recognized brand in antimicrobial technology. As Michael said, it all started with an itchy cast and trying to solve that problem, which is a bacterial problem in nature that causes odor and itching. And as a result, a number of antimicrobial solutions have been developed over the years, all of which are regulated in the United States, either by the EPA or the FDA, depending on their application. So typically, if something's going in the body, such as in surgery, or if it's going to be related to food contact, that's going to be an FDA regulatory process. And then most, if not all, of the other applications are typically regulated by the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency here in the United States. And that's what makes, in my opinion, the Microban 24 and the Sandy 24 products so unique, because they are the only EPA certified solution for continuous claim that makes them completely unique in the marketplace. No one else can say that. And those products are currently being distributed, as Michael mentioned, in the commercial markets through Procter & Gamble, P&G, and in the healthcare markets through PDI. So for our healthcare watchers and listeners who are interested in finding these products for healthcare solutions, those are distributed by PDI. You were talking a little bit about the different technologies that are utilized in the antimicrobial space and how being agnostic in the development of these solutions for Microban has been a benefit. Can you pick up there?
Because we're agnostic in the technologies we deploy, we're able to go out and find the best solutions for every specific application. So we'll be able to provide, for example, to a ceramic flooring manufacturer, a technology that will survive the kiln firing process and be good for the life of that product, even if it's 30 years in length. On the other hand side, for something that's going to be intimate with one's skin, we're going to choose a technology that doesn't have any sensitization issues or skin exposure issues. And so we tailor the application and the technology we deploy along with the proposition that's needed. Do we need antifungal? Do we need anti-mold? Do we need antibacterial? Do we need antiviral? Or do we need all of the above? And then we tailor that and we go find the right technologies, the right form and format, so that we can incorporate into the logistics and the manufacturing process of our partner in the least penalistic mode possible, and then help them bring that treated product to market.
So Michael, let me jump in there, because we did have a question come in and I answered it while you were offline, and I may or may not have answered it correctly. One of the Seal Shield Advisory Council members, Randall Rentschler, is asking if the solutions are effective with viruses. You just mentioned that you can customize solutions for targeted pathogens. The answer I gave, and I hope it's right, is that the Santa 24 products and the Microban 24 products that have been validated by the EPA for continuous claim do have efficacy with certain viruses. Is that the correct answer?
You've nailed it. Yeah, both Microban 24 and Sandy 24 powered by Microban are rated against numerous viruses, norovirus, amongst others, and SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID. We also do, though, have the capability, depending on the jurisdiction and the regulatory environment in certain geographies, to provide built-in antiviral treatment to finished end products. So again, that just speaks to the breadth of our solution set. We oftentimes will work by drawing from numerous antimicrobial sources and combining those in a unique way to deliver a specific and differentiable performance on that substrate and on that article versus any of those other elements, and pursue a primary registration with EPA on those combinatorials as well. So that's really the essence of our business, and being able to solve problems that no one else can, and to take products to market with our partners, backed by the power of our trust mark, Microban.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the regulatory process, because we've made a big deal out of the fact that the Santa 24 and the Microban 24 products are the only products that have been certified by the EPA. The reason we make a big deal out of that is because those of us in the know what a big deal that is. These are the only solutions that have actually made it through this particular regulatory process. You mentioned also that some of the solutions you work with, you go for a base antimicrobial registration. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about the difference between registering an antimicrobial and having a validated, registered solution for the consumer or healthcare markets?
Sure, and it's playing into work in our business right now. So first, with regards to the treatments that we utilize in the bulk of our built-in applications, these are antimicrobials that are registered with the EPA. They're registered with Health Canada, the UK, the BPR, various agencies around the world. It's, for those that don't know, it's a very extensive process to pursue registration and have the technologies registered and housed and updated all the time within all those various jurisdictions around the world. But once we have that, and once we're the owners of that primary registration, we are able to work with our partners under treated article claims, so that once we've got validated lab testing that shows that the treatment is efficacious when it's tucked into that manufactured end product, it allows them to make supported claims in the marketplace related to the product protection that is enabled by those technologies. So that's the bulk of our built-in work. The bulk of our work in the textiles arena actually don't use registered pesticides. We've got a suite of innovative technologies that we've got in our portfolio that manage odor, and specifically the element of body odor, isovaleric acid, that results in a lot of that stink that's associated with shoes and with wear. And so these are dealt with in non-pesticidal, far more green manners. And in fact, we're very excited because in the next 21 months, we're going to be launching 6 new product platforms to global markets, many of which are much more environmentally friendly and green and based on naturally occurring elements than ever before. And so we're broadening our portfolio very, very aggressively in both those textiles, non-registered, non-pesticidal treatment methods, and in green, naturally inspired technologies for use in built-in applications. So that's that side. To go down the path of registering a formulation as a disinfectant or as a sanitizing agent, as a germicidal agent for use in hospital or for sanitizing use in home, it's the formulation, it's all of the testing, it's GLP testing, it's actually establishing and getting proof of performance against specific cleaning protocols, and that's residence time-based. It's very specific in terms of the pathogen. So maybe it's best if we unpack a little bit the Sandy 24 technology, since most of your audience is in infection prevention control. Sandy 24 in both the spray and the wipe format, powered by Microban technology, has gone through 4+ years each of this very, very rigorous testing before even released to market. After release to market, there's a whole ton of clinical studies that have to be undertaken to prove the value and use, and to have the various healthcare systems consider bringing those in under the group purchasing agreements, et cetera, and bringing those into practice. So it's a long asymptotic curve to get in, but that's why for us, it's really worth it, because we're really helping to address, the formulations we brought to market with PDI are active against all the escape pathogens, which are responsible for over 40% of hospital-acquired infections in the healthcare environment. So we're treating and active against the pathogens that are responsible for infection, and doing so in a way that someone can clean a surface and it's good for up to 24 hours. It doesn't have to, for example, in the examination rooms of dental offices or whatnot, it doesn't have to be cleaned after every single visit, after every single patient, which can lead to the deterioration of those material substrates. It can lead to very pugilistic labor costs, cleaning costs for an independent operator or for a healthcare system. So it's not only the residual disinfection in helping to fight HAIs, but it's also helping within a system of care to make it efficient and effective for these healthcare systems, for primary care systems, to do so in an efficient manner.
Well, I know our audience wants to hear more about the healthcare solutions and how they can implement these best practice validated solutions in their own systems. But we do have a question about the textile business. Danny Caballero asks us, tell us a little bit about the antimicrobial technology in the textiles. Is it an embedded solution? How permanent is it? Does it become less active after washing? Can you talk a little bit about the textiles?
Sure, happy to. So we've got a whole range of technologies. Some of them are chemically adsorptive, some of them are absorptive, but typically because these are items which are, for the most part, going to undergo some sort of machine laundering at some point in time. You know, your shirt's you're gonna have it done every time you wear it, or every couple of times you wear it. Maybe it's workout wear that you wear 5 days in a row, then you wash it on the weekends. What our technology will do is enable to make sure that after multiple wearings, you're not going to have this funk. You're not going to have that odor. You're not going to pick up permastink. As textiles have moved from natural fibers, largely, wool, cotton, et cetera, towards the polymeric fibers, polymers don't give up those odorific devices. So we work actually at the point of manufacture in polymeric-based fibers to embed our technology. In more traditional textiles goods, we will work in the finishing process to make sure that we're right on top and being primarily active against those isovaleric acids and the other acids that cause odors. Yes, of course, when you go through rigorous cleaning in laundry care, those heavy surfactants and that heavy beading, it's actually degrading that textile garment. So as that degrades, so goes the treatment. But most of our technologies are typically rated for up to and including at least 25 home launderings. Some of our technologies, and particularly those aimed at the professional environments and in hospitality and healthcare, can go up north of 50 home launderings. So that provides a very, very good functional life for that textile product and extended protection through the course of that life cycle of that substrate.
Well, that's great information. Now, for Danny's benefit, if he wants to go out and buy himself a Microban wardrobe, he can't go to the mall, to the Microban store and try on some clothes. Can you tell us a little bit about the branding and how you're partnered with companies within their industries to provide your solutions, such as in textiles?
Certainly. Yeah, we've got lots of partners in lots of sectors. So I would tell everybody on the line that if you go out and you're choosing to let's say in North America, purchase and use Nike's athleisure wear line or Lululemon's athleisure line, you're using Microban technology. Keep an eye out for the hang tag. For those that might be on the line exposed to this in Asia, we've just fomented a new partnership with Li Ning, who's got, I think, 10 share in China. They've launched 16 lines of Microban treated technologies. We work very closely with Skechers for those that want to wear Skechers shoes. And a lot of folks in the hospitality sector, for example, Manchester Mills utilizes Microban technologies in the production of their goods that are used in hotels, so sheeting and toweling and the like on that front. In addition to shower curtains that are used in hotels, so keep an eye out for the Microban brand, the mark, whether that's on a hang tag or in certain cases whether that's actually on a product. We're very proud of a partnership that we've got in both the built-in and the textiles areas with Samsonite, so that you can actually have antimicrobial luggage. And to remind you of that, when you open up that, let's say that hard side case, that separator and that textile lining has the Microban brand on it. And it's because every single surface on that suitcase is treated with Microban technologies that's good for the life of the product.
So let's go back to the healthcare solutions. I want to talk a little bit more about the Sana 24 and Microban 24 solutions. You mentioned that you went through the rigorous, I believe you said 4-year EPA process, and that there was tremendous clinical testing to validate this. Can you talk a little bit about the clinical testing process and what that entailed and what you discovered?
Yeah, so in fact, this is a great topic and one that for folks that want to understand more rigorously the process that is undertaken to get into the healthcare space with a residual active disinfectant. PDI have been great partners in this, and PDI have worked with leading epidemiologists like Dr. Rutala, amongst others, who have worked in these clinical settings to, for example, set up controlled studies around a room that a system of care is deployed in, which includes continuously active disinfection technology, and a room in which it's not. And then there's a whole series of swabbing and measurements that are done to identify the thoroughness of cleaning, the types of pathogens that are left behind post-cleaning, the types of hand care that's operated within these spaces, and ultimately the testing for these specific HAI agents that are really the pathogens of concern that help to drive unfortunate sicknesses and many deaths in North America and around the world every single year. So it's very rigorous setup. It might be room to room, it might be wing to wing, but there's been a whole series of these studies done over time. And in fact, PDI just earlier today did a simulcast with Becker's Healthcare, which went deep into the CAD technology and what role it plays related to a system of care, which might also deploy great hand cleaning, patient interactions and logging, the use of UVC sanitization technologies, and the like, as well as built-in technologies like, we offer with our partners, Marlux Medical, treated privacy curtains that can be used in the healthcare sector. We work with a company called Intrametro, who offer 5S storage solutions and crash carts that are used in the hospital sector. We work extensively with Medline, offering a huge range of mobility and wound care solutions that use Microban technologies and are used in healthcare systems. And then, of course, our partnership with PDI. So I think what might be best is we're trying to work on getting PDI to the table and being part of a future month conversation on the CleanCast. And we'll see if we can get them to the table so they can discuss the detailed rigor that goes into validating this at the GLP testing level, at the clinical testing level, with published white papers that are peer reviewed, and ultimately create this very rigorous data set, which makes sure that then the healthcare systems understand exactly what benefits they're getting when they deploy technologies like Sana 24 powered by Microban.
Well, Michael, we're going to hold PDI responsible for your commitment, and we're going to get them on a future episode of Clean Talk. So thank you for that, for volunteering that on their behalf. Looking forward to that episode in the future. You mentioned some of the other technologies that are being implemented within healthcare. You mentioned the curtains. What outside of the Sana 24 and the Microban 24 disinfectant and sanitizer solutions, what are the primary where you're seeing the most demand for other antimicrobial products, specifically in the healthcare setting? What type of products do you see getting a lot of traction and providing benefit in the healthcare segment?
So I think the bridge here that we see and that our partners in market see is, we've worked extensively to build up a network of partners that manufacture things that contribute to the built environment. And so when you think about the built environment, you think about the home environment first. It's a very private, it's a very personal space. And it's within that environment that consumers want to have that protection that lives on, want to have that product protection that will extend life and will generally contribute towards a microbiome management within that built environment. But it doesn't mean by any stretch that every one of those applications in the home environment can be bridged into a healthcare built environment or even an office built environment. So we've got partnerships in clothes washers and dryers and refrigeration and HVAC management units, in hot water treatments and whatnot. Every one of those things can be brought into the healthcare environment, specified for use by thoughtful architects that want to contribute to having that entire space be more proactively managed and those surfaces be protected for longer and last longer. We work within the flooring sector in every type of flooring, carpeting, luxury vinyl tile, ceramic, countertops, quartz and natural treatments, et cetera. All, if you name it, we treat it. And all of those things, those are huge surface areas, within the healthcare environment where these technologies can be applied and they're good for the life of the product. Paint, high touch surfaces like door hardware. We've got a great partnership with Spectrum brands across their Kwikset brand, their Baldwin brand, and many other, their Tel brand, amongst others. I can't think of a higher touch surface within the healthcare environment. And if you can have built-in treatment on that surface, what's to be bad about that, right? All of the scrubs, all of the footwear in the space, the sticky cleaning agents when you go from one room to the other, the filters that are used in clean rooms, especially in the life sciences environment, telephony. So how many strangers come by and sort of use the nurse's desk and they're touching that phone or that communications device? We've got a great partnership with Poly, who are one of the top IP telephony conference systems and headset manufacturers in the professional space all over the world. And they embed our technologies at the point of manufacture so that they're treated for the life of the product. Those can be used in every healthcare system all around the world tomorrow. Bedding, socks, and then of course, food storage containers and management systems and crash carts. So again, we're very proud of the fact that we can treat any substrate, any surface. It's just up to the healthcare systems to make a conscious choice that actually helping to manage the microbiome and helping to leverage built-in technologies as a complement to great systems of care for cleaning and disinfection are a good choice. And we can help to leverage the partnerships that we've got in the home sector and in the professional sector to bring those to bear in the healthcare sector.
Well, Michael, I know Microban has been around for a long time, I think nearly 100 years, but during your tenure, the company has achieved significant, impressive growth. Can you tell us your secret?
Well, I'll tell you, it starts with fantastic associates. It starts with our multi-100-person team all over the world, really being intently focused on solving real problems, building up meaningful partnerships, and enabling the trust that comes with the consumption of our partners' products in those environments that we've talked about, the home space, the professional space, the healthcare space, and the like. It starts with that, being very intentional. It also starts with outstanding innovation. The fact that we can, bring to market 6 new product platforms in the next 21 months has been part of a multi-year effort. As I said before, the registration cycle, the prove-out cycle, it's not easy and it's not short. But we've got a whole range of these technologies coming to market that are, moreover, largely built on naturally occurring, some technologies that are generally regarded as safe, that are actually used as food additives, which will have primary registrations for as antimicrobials for use in a variety of different substrates, nature-inspired green technologies, non-pesticidal technologies, and some new areas that will help contribute towards the expansion of odor control to many other textiles and woven and non-woven substrates. So it's really our team. It starts with our team. It extends with our partners. We take nothing directly to market. So we're very, very proud of the more than 800 partnerships that we have all over the world because, we're the hub and the spokes on that wheel are our partners. And that entire ecosphere as a whole is really what we consider as Microban.
Now, you mentioned in the product development and that you're driving to produce more and more natural-based products. What do you attribute that direction on? Is that being pushed by regulatory pressure, or is the consumer market requesting these type of solutions? And is that even a trend? Are you seeing a transition in the type of antimicrobials that are entering the market today and in the future?
We've actually gotten primary market data and research in place that consumers, when given the choice, but they would always choose to have a more environmentally friendly, a more mindful technology, a kinder, gentler way to solve these problems in maybe a less toxic manner. So this has been part of our innovations ethos for at least 4 years, but now we're actually able to bring these technologies to market. So that's why we're really wanting to trumpet this. We believe in a huge way in the corporate social responsibility, environmental responsibility, and we're very proud of the fact that our technologies, due to the fact that they protect surfaces, they extend product lives, they minimize landfill loading, They minimize natural resource consumption. They help people use products wiser for longer. They're naturally more sustainable. When Microban technology is applied to a product, it's going to deliver a longer life, period, the end. And so we're a sustainability organization at our heart. And now we're able to power up not only that message and that performance, but do so in a way that's actually a lot more environmentally conscious, a lot more environmentally friendly with these green technologies that we're bringing to market in the next couple of years. So I'd say this is a bit more of an evolution of something we've always been doing, but we're able to do so in a much more mindful manner now. And so we're focusing our messaging on the fact that we're able to do this with our partners, starting with these rollouts coming in the next 21 months.
Well, I think we can all agree that all else being the same, a more environmentally friendly approach is better. But is all else the same? I know our infection preventionist audience is saying that they don't need to take a kinder, gentler approach to killing those bugs. We want to kill them. Are the newer solutions that are more environmentally friendly, are they as effective as the solutions that we're using today?
They are, and specifically in our textiles and built-in offerings, we're actually seeing very, very interesting performance windows in certain areas where we're actually able to be more efficacious in those applications. Hey, at the end of the day, I would also say, though, everybody's got to keep in mind that a system of care is the best way to do it. So utilize Microban technologies in the built environment, utilize Microban technologies in the textiles and footwear that are used and specified within the healthcare systems. And don't forget to get SANI 24 into your healthcare network so that you minimize the material damage that takes place with super heavy disinfection. And you've got that 24-hour protection in those spaces when you're turning over, acute care and primary care rooms, backed by great science, backed by very rigorous oversight, clinical studies. The proof's in the pudding. And really, if you want your system and your healthcare network to be battle ready against these HAIs, it's all of the above.
Well, outside of the technologies that you're utilizing to create the solutions, have you made any kind of other changes in the product development process? I know here at Seal Shield a few years ago, we went to the V2 MOM product development process where we put our values and our visions first before the methods, the obstacles, and the measurements. I'm wondering if in order to increase the drive towards more products with newer technologies, if you've had to make any kind of fundamental changes within your own product development process.
We did, and I'm glad you asked this. One of the major elements that we have engaged in particular during the pandemic period, was we kind of looked hard in the mirror and decided it doesn't matter if it's not invented here. And so we've begun a very, very broad net outreach for outside-in innovation and partnerships. And some of the technologies that we'll be bringing to market in the next 21 months come exactly from that, where we find particular technologies, maybe they serve a different function in a different market care sector in a non-antimicrobial mode of engagement. But when we tailor that in combination with some other technologies, we're able to express a very good efficacy for substrate treatment in a particular environment. So we've done this in PVCs, we've done this in polyurethane foams. We're in the process of validating the final steps before we can release to market for olefinic polymer substrates and for acrylics and laminates. So we're working on these very specific technologies, but it's been driven a lot by our willingness to reach broader into the market and work with others in an outside-in innovation mindset that goes on top of the super smart people that we've got within our business that are helping us, move from a 2.0 formulation to a 3.0 formulation and beyond.
What kind of effect has COVID had on your business from the product demand side and the product development side, and also on the challenges you've had in operating the business during a pandemic?
Our footprint being global has meant that we've been able to engage sort of as the whack-a-mole of COVID has gone all over the world. We've had various parts of our business that have been on lockdown. Our team in China right now, in Shanghai, has been on house lockdown for 5 weeks straight. So it's impacted our ability to move product in that specific geographic region. Well, then our team in Shenzhen or our team in Europe or our team in the US, they figure out a way to solve problems. They figure out a way to get to yes and support our customers' needs from other areas. So because we've got that duplicity of knowledge, duplicity of supply and sampling, and duplicity of capability, know-how, and sales support in so many different parts of the world, we're able to stay ahead of these various different lockdowns, breakdowns, and sort of things that happen. This is exactly how we are handling right now the difficulties that are being placed on many people's businesses by logistics and supply chain issues. But because of the diversity and the spread that we've got, we're able to deploy and counter from that standpoint. Specifically in the pandemic, we went full virtual outside of the laboratory and the manufacturing environment, where of course we had to have folks engaged with product, ongoing testing, formulating, packaging, shipping product, et cetera. Of course, we're very mindful we understand viruses better than just about anyone, right? So we knew how to safely engage. We put in place a lot of very safe work practices through associates who understand, the role of these technologies and how viruses move. We made changes to our footprint facilities all over the world in terms of air handling and disinfection and cleaning. And we did so with technologies we know work because they're ours. And of course, we launched to market with Procter & Gamble in the North America sector in February of 2020. That's a pretty good time to be launching a home surface care agent to the market. And so
that's effective against SARS-CoV-2, right?
Exactly.
Pretty good timing.
And actually, very soon it will be announced that product has now been validated and is residual effective for 24 hours against SARS-CoV-2. So that's a bit of coming soon news. Keep your eyes peeled here in the next 2-3 weeks for some news out of Procter & Gamble. But we've been working very, very hard on that validation as well to get that label use cleared and out to market. So coming soon.
Well, we appreciate that sneak peek. In closing, what other predictions do you have for the future? You've talked about more environmental friendly antimicrobial solutions. Any other predictions that you can share with our audience?
I'll tell you that the entropy happens, and entropy is continuing to happen all around the world, unfortunately, right? Most of it's in a negative way. We are trying to galvanize our technologies, our people, our solutions, and our partnerships to make sure that we've got the right solutions that are ever more green, ever more environmentally friendly, but always ever more present to make sure that we help redefine clean, protect patients, protect staff, protects products, protects facilities from this general malaise that comes from things like bacterium and viruses and mold and fungus. And so we're very proud of our work in this area. We're proud of our history, but we're more excited about our future than ever before. We're going to continue to invest in next generation technologies, in broadening the footprint of our organization so we can continue to be globally thinking and locally acting, to continue to invest in our brand so that people can see and recognize and trust Microban branded products that our partners bring to market. We're going to continue to broaden the areas that we can be active in. So moving very aggressively in the next couple of years into the treatment of large public spaces with surface protectants that could be active for up to 12 weeks. And working again on a brand first, technology agnostic, asset light model empowered by great associates all around the world. So everybody should continue to expect to see and look to Microban first for what's next.
Fantastic stuff. Michael, if people want to find out more about Microban, where should they go?
Microban.com is our pride and joy. It's a fantastic website. I would invite anybody that wants more information on our technology, our people, our organization to come visit us there. And by the way, we're back open. So anyone that happens to be in the Charlotte area, we've always got an open door.
Well, that's a fantastic invitation. Thank you, Michael. And thank you for being on Clean Talk today. My guest today has been Michael Ruby, president of Microban International. Thank you for joining us on Clean Talk. Until next time, I'm your host, Brad Whitchurch, reminding you to keep it clean.